All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Sorry about that. And welcome. You should see me. Today's daily creative challenge is going to be pretty fun. We're skipping past the intro, but I'm happy that you are here, and we'll get this rocking right now. So let's dive right into it. So thanks so much. Again, we're going on this fun adventure. Hopefully you're cool with it. We're taking a journey through Photoshop, right? As you can see right above, right? So this is our day 2 for our daily creative challenge. We started out over there on the coast, right? Today things are going to get a little weird. We're going to deviate a little bit from this, and we're going to make some fun caricature art. I think it'll be a good time. It's all about manipulating pixels, and I think it'll be fun. So let's just dive right in, huh? Enough messing around, huh? Daily Creative Challenge. Boom. Day 2. Caricature art. Download those photos. Use your own as well. Here's the Caricature PSD. There's a number of files in there, so we're going to open that up right now. Okay? So here we are. Disregard some of that other stuff. Sorry. And thanks for your patience. YouTube was on the struggle bus this morning. So, but this is what we have. I've given you a number of images, right? People jumping and doing fun little things, right? So for this caricature, you're going to take a photo of yourself, if you dare, right? And use that for your caricature. By the way, did you know if you have an iOS device, you can go down to import right here, take a photo. So yeah, Photoshop has always only manipulated photos, never been able to take photos. Well, it actually can take photos now. Notice how take photos, what I'm going to select, bam. Use your phone's camera to take a photo. Let's flip this around. Just like so. And by the way, in case you're curious, this is exactly what I'm seeing right now. It's going to be something like this. Okay, so I'll just look into the camera. You're going to see my ugly mug, but we'll see this in Photoshop. We'll do like, there we go. Done. Use photo. Bam, there we are, right? Take a photo of yourself, by the way, is what I'm going for here, right? We just took this photo. You ready for some fast photo cleanup? We talked about touch-ups yesterday, but I'm going to do this really fast right in here. What do I need to do? I need to extract the background. So remove background. Boom. Removed the background. Selecting that layer, right? This layer mask, going into select subject. I have all that green, and I didn't capture all that hair. So let's just grab this hair using the refine edge. Give myself a little trim right here. Zzz, like that. And we need to decontaminate these colors right down here. I have all that green. Actually, it's not even that bad. But we'll select decontaminate colors right down here. Boom. So if you have any splash of color, you can go ahead and get rid of it. And we'll click OK. There we have it. Okay. I'm going to convert this to a smart object. And this is also kind of a quick recap of what we did yesterday, but I can't help but go into Camera Raw Filter and then just add a little bit, kind of removing the texture is essentially softening those tones, right? So if you remove the texture like that, if you have any blemishes, jump in. I get it. You can't really use a photo of yourself without like not taking care of some things. We can get rid of that blemish, like this little thing like that. It'll be gone in a couple days anyways. Click OK. And this is the face that we could use, right, for our for our caricature. So I'm going to drag this layer over into the other file, like so. There it is. Now let's have some fun, shall we? Okay, so Marcos, it's for if you have an iPhone, if you're on the same network. You have to be on the same Wi-Fi network. You don't have to be wired, but yeah, you have to be on the same network. So here this face is. First thing we need to do is cut out more of it. So right down here, adding a layer mask, right, with that layer mask selected. And by the way, I don't even need to do that, because if I double click on any smart object, right? I can go inside of it because there's already a layer mask right here. So I could actually jump in and get rid of all this. Like that. I'm just using the lasso tool. Selecting this area. And let's fill it with, there we go, with black, right? Isolating my head. It's that layer mask. Hopefully that makes sense. There we are. We got this fun isolated head. By the way, I also gave you this photo, so feel free to mess with me. This is clearly a photo day where you're like cleaned up. This is just like normal day, Paul. Right, so use either one you want. It'd be the same process if you want to use this photo. You can jump in and say, hey, you know what, remove background, taking that layer, and even using something like a brush, for instance, and eliminating, painting with black on that layer, we could start to remove other parts of this photo like I'm doing right now. Like so. Cool, there we go. We have two of them. Now you know how to take a photo. You could use this one as well. I might use this one because this one's actually done a little bit more professionally. And I'm going to just map it on, I guess, this guy right here. Let's map it on this guy. So let's take this. Let's convert this to a smart object. That means I could scale it up and down without having any issues. But trust me, it's going to be scaled up and be ridiculous like that. Okay. I'm going to flip it as, no, actually that angle's pretty good. So there it is. Actually, you know what? I could use that one or I could use this one. This one is also fun. So use whatever photo you want. I can put me down like right there. This is super fun as well. Again, big head, funny caricature that we can play with as well, okay? But let's kind of play with the face of your choosing because we're making caricature art, okay? So whether it's going to be on him or him, doesn't really matter. And let's just jump in and have some fun, shall we? It's right in here. Here's our character. Shrink it down a little bit more. I'm hitting Command T, and that brings up transform. So edit, transform right here. Free transform, Command T, and then you'll scale it down that way, right? Boop, like that. Jumping in the air like this. Now let's get into some fun caricature manipulation of pixels. I'm going to use liquify here, okay? Yeah, oh yes, by the way, it's very jib-jab. You're right, Chad. So liquify, bam, there it is. I could always show the backdrop, but I don't need to. It actually just kind of, I just want to work on the face. So right in here, we have our manipulation tools where we can start pushing and pulling content. So typically what you want to do is you could do a Disney caricature art style, which is going to be making the eyes really big, or just taking certain features and exaggerating them, okay? The cool thing about this is I could use this top tool, which is the forward warp, which I've never understood that term, but I can kind of forward warp myself and give myself like bigger hair, for instance, using that forward warp, right? Let's take whatever's special about you, what makes you you, and exaggerate that. Right, so let's go with like really big, ridiculous hair, okay? And next up, right down here, you want to accentuate the eyes. Right over here. Check this out. It will actually identify the face tool, right? So look at this. Right in here, I can manipulate, say, the eyes, for instance. This is going to do it very subtly, right? Because actually right in here, if you've noticed, I have one eye that is always like a little bit smaller than the other. I don't know if I favor one over the other. So I typically have to make my left eye just like a little bit bigger just to make them look balanced, okay? So there is that tool for manipulating certain parts. You can kind of give yourself a creepy smile. Hey, why not? There's your creepy caricature smile, right? So creepy. So you have those controls. You can also manipulate them over here, eyes, nose, mouth, and all those different aspects of those parts of the face, right? Sort of adjust the eyes, the nose, right? I typically find that using some of these tools off to the side, like forward warp to really stretching out my mouth, exaggerating it even more. Since we are making a caricature just for fun, we can make that look ridiculous. We could use the bloat tool. The bloat is going to be good for eyes. Again, you want to make something large like a Disney character. Try using the bloat tool. And this is ridiculous. Can I just say, this is just ridiculous. What are we doing, people? Right? But again, just having fun with our face. Yeah, thank you, Paul Naughton. Paul, I like having you here. You know, I'm glad you appreciate this, because I think this stuff is really fun. And you're right, Cornell. Nobody is symmetrically perfect. You wish you were. And by the way, yes, I did use hairspray this morning. I put junk in it, and then I put hairspray on top of it. Because when my hair is really long, it's kind of ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Look at that. What? So I'll do 2 different scenes really fast, since I have time. So, because I like this one, this is just we'll just call this head. Sorry about that. And we'll do a Command J to jump that layer. There's 2. And I'll just do like 2 different folders. So I can have this first desert one. I could take those 2 and I'm just going to group them into this one that's called jump. Right? Then I'm going to have another scene because I think I'll have time for it. Doing 2 different versions. Command G to group them. And this will be handstand. Right? So for this handstand, let's play with it. Boom, right in here, flip it around. Command T, when I do the Command T with any settings. Okay, so I'm glad this came up. You ready for this? Let me show you something. What's up, Gusbot in the house? So, when you apply liquify, right over here, let me pull this out. That liquify isn't transformable. So if I decide to do a Command T and then I just rotate it a little bit and then I hit enter, look at how wacky your face will get. Because the liquify stays with the layer and isn't transformable. Okay? So undo that. A way to get around that is right click. Because again, we want to preserve this content. The easiest way to preserve content is converting to a smart object. Why am I losing my mind? Here we go, right up here. Up at the top, convert to smart object. That will protect it. So now we can easily take that, rotate it, and the face isn't going to get distorted, right? So that's what I want to do for pretty much both of these. Boom, boom, boom. Give me a second. So in this for this instance, hold on. Getting rid of that. Command T. Right click, we can go ahead and rotate 180 degrees. There it is. Boom. Shrink it on down. Rotating it a little bit. Oh, this is ridiculous. There we have it. Okay, so we need to sell other aspects of this. In fact, I'm going to flip this horizontal because the light needs to match the light wherever it's coming from in this photo. So it's kind of coming from the, like from above, but also a little bit to the left, in my opinion. Okay, right here, that looks pretty good so far. Let's start manipulating the body since we want to do a caricature of this body. You ready for this? This is going to be awesome as well. So I'm going to make a new layer, Command J. Okay, jumping that layer. Okay, so I have this desert, and this is just going to be just desert. Check this out. You ready for this? We'll remove background. You ready? Oh, actually, no, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. We want to select subject. Right beneath that, select subject. Boom. It's going to go in and select your guy in this case. Now, I'm going to create... Actually, sorry about that. I can do remove background. I'm a goofball. One of them is going to have our character, so we'll just call this character. The other one is just going to have the desert. So for this one, we're going to select subject. We're going to go to select. We're going to do an expand by 5 pixels. So we get all those extra little pixels. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a content aware fill. So I'm just going to go to fill, by the way, just to keep this simple. And instead of filling with foreground and background, we're going to content aware fill that area and he'll disappear. Okay? So all you really do is just you select your character like so, and then you fill content aware style. Boom. Now he's on his own layer. Since he's on his own layer, I'm just going to apply that layer mask. I can manipulate him some more. You ready for this? With this character, we'll go to edit. We'll go down to puppet warp because we want to treat him like a puppet. All right. So puppet warp, boom. We get a mesh that we could start adding pins to, different parts, right? I definitely want his arm to be stable. I don't want this other content to move, but basically I'll add these little control points for just different parts of this person's body, okay? Just like that, okay? Looks good. Let's go ahead and manipulate it because I can grab his leg now and pull it out further like so. Command H will hide, but then we can go in here, stretch this out like so, right? And if you want to get really into like a crazy caricature style, change the mode to distort. Changing that mode to distort. Now when I pull out his leg, look at how big his foot gets, right? So this is that sort of comical look that I'm looking for, right? Big in some parts, smaller in others. Maybe that hand needs to go further back like so, okay? Like that, sort of throwing your head on there, and then we can start to play with lighting. Does that work? Sam Pearson, what's up? What Startup Santana? All right. All right, this is the Caricature Art Daily Creative Challenge. A lot of times, if you take that photo, by the way, it's not going to match perfectly. So remember, this head has another issue as well. Like it has its own issues, right? Just like we all do. This head's got issues. Let's change this to 40. Is matching that lighting, right? So matching the lighting is something else you'll have to tackle. So whichever one you use, you're going to have to match the lighting. I noticed the skin tone here. Luckily, it's pretty close. But you're going to want to match that by using adjustment layers, right? So right down here, we're going to click, and this allows us to access our adjustment layers. So right in here, we could do a couple different things. We can go in, starting up at the top, we can change the brightness, contrast, the levels, the curves. You could use a number of these, right? I'll get into curves just for fun, right? So curves gives us this lovely panel right here, the properties panel for curves, right? Photographers use it a lot. I'm gonna add curves. Oop, sorry, get back in there. Oop. Adds this layer, and it's actually affecting everything, right? I don't want it to affect everything. I just want it to affect the head. So for that adjustment layer, if you right click, you can go ahead and create a clipping mask. And if you understand this, Angela and everyone, I know Chad does, Marsha probably gets it. This is huge. You know, adding a layer, adding an adjustment layer, and adding a clipping mask, and making sure it has that same brightness and manipulating it accordingly, right? So that already looks a lot better since, you know, when making this fun, crazy, like, caricature guy, right? And we could exaggerate this all day long, by the way. We could always go into liquify a little bit more. I kind of want to manipulate him some more, but I also want to get into this last thing. Since I'm working on adjustment layers, if you put an adjustment layer over everything, it can hide a multitude of sins, dare I say. So right down here, I can go to, I'll typically go to color lookup. If you know me, you know I love color lookups. It's like adding an Instagram filter to your particular file. So that color lookup is over everything else. We'll even put it at the very top. And we'll load up a lookup table. We could say, hey, make it to strip, right? And it sort of hides any color issues you might have. So that's an easy way to tie everything together. This fall colors looks really good too, okay? So I'll do something kind of like that. Lastly, I'll just take the crop tool and I'll just crop like so, hit enter, file, export as JPEG. Checking the size, that's pretty good. Excuse me, let's export this as a JPEG to my, come on buddy, desktop. This is Paul. Caricature, just for fun, just doing a wacky kick, and then open up Discord, post it to Discord, because hopefully it should get reviewed by Sean Reichen today. So the color lookups are under lookup tables. Is that right? That's not right. It's called color lookup is what it's under. Okay. Here we are in Discord, Photoshop. We have our creative challenge. Go to current challenge, grab that file, drop it in here. My quick attempt to make a fun caricature. Good. Just go ahead and upload that and have the community comment on it. Just get your work out there and have fun at the end of the day. This is what everybody's been uploading. Everything looks really cool. Everybody's been having fun, by the way. Oh, so awesome. That is so cool. But that is our journey through Photoshop. We are basically bending and manipulating pixels in a fantastic way is the idea. So hopefully you guys kind of catch what our vision for that. If you're out there on Facebook or wherever else, boom, bit.ly, bit.ly, PS, capital PS Discord is where you can find a link to join our Discord. So, but just head over to behance.net/Adobe Live. That would be better. So Sean Reichen's in the house. Good to have you, Sean. You're up next. So I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have been fantastic. Feel free to have some fun with either my photo or a photo of yourself. I just appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. And welcome Sean Reichen next, which will be really cool Photoshop work. As you can see from this schedule, it's going to be fun. Thank you, Neil, Steve, Protolina. Keep the conversations going. By the way, I'm going to post this all to Instagram later today. So we'll be back in a second. Thanks so much.